We documented it, and people loved it.
Okay.
So
I forgot about that. You had the waters ready for him. The car was cleaned
the radio
out.
station was clutch. So
yeah, we found old school hip hop and R&B. We were just bobbing our heads, really excited.
So my flight is at 1:45.
What time is mine? Let's see here.
Let me look.
Rob, what time is my flight? Because you're on the same one, aren't you? We need to figure this out. Do I drive Canty no matter what? Do you have to get there?
How are you going to drive me if you have a noon flight and my flight is at 1:45?
Exactly. Get there early.
I'm not getting there. Why? Why would I do that? I'm not going to waste time in the airport.
1:45.
So we're on the same flight?
Yeah.
So I'm going home first. I will walk back over here with my bags, but I'm going home first.
Are you on that flight, Smalls?
Nuno, is she on that flight?
Yeah, she
Nuno,
doesn't
am I on
know.
that flight?
Knowing her, she probably forgot to book the flight.
No.
We're going to get to the airport.
my
CC and I are going to walk through security. She's like, oh, wait, I didn't book it.
I think I may have booked a flight at a bad time. I gotta look into this.
She booked a flight at 9:30 in the morning Eastern time.
Wrong time.
Only
bad
Smalls.
time.
Only
Is there
Smalls.
a layover? Smalls is the only person that's not going direct from New York to Pittsburgh.
You know, I'm glad we're doing this little exercise because I may have booked an incorrect flight here. I got to look into this.
What are you booking? What does that mean? No, now you
Well-
got to clue the audience in. You brought it up.
Okay, so I clicked on something and it says 10:31 a.m., which obviously I will never make. But why would I book a 10:31 a.m. flight?
Are you okay?
No, this can't be right. This can't be right. I'm pretty sure.
Is that your return
Is this a different flight?
Is that your return flight, the 10:31?
Why would the
Yeah,
10:31
maybe.
make sense?
I got to look into this because the flight I thought I booked was, hold on, stand by. The flight I thought I booked was later in the afternoon. So we'll look into it.
Okay. All right. Anyway, we're going to be at the draft next week, 1 week from today. Write the headline. Write the headline right now. So it's Thursday night, night one of the NFL draft. It's 11:30 p.m. Eastern time. Round one's coming to an end. What's headline? Round one. What's the storyline we're paying most attention to right now that we think will play out for round one of the draft?
I think it's going to be movement in the draft.
That's the headline.
Yeah,
Trades.
because I think that beauty is going to be in the eye of the beholder in this draft, and I don't think there's going to be a consensus on all of the prospects that we expect to go at the top, especially night one. So I think the big storyline is not going to be a particular prospect, but I do think it's going to be draft day trades to move up and down the draft boards, and trades for veteran players. I think that's what's going to be the star next Thursday when the draft kicks off.
Smalls?
Oh, I hope you're right, Cece. I hope we get a lot of movement and a lot of excitement when it comes to Thursday night's draft. In addition to that, I think we're all going to be wondering where Ty Simpson goes. We know Fernando Mendoza, unless the Raiders get that Godfather offer, is likely to go number one overall. I'm assuming Jeremiah Love will go top 5. And after that, the big intrigue is going to be who's going to take Ty Simpson. We're going to be constantly looking at the camera panning to him in the green room. We're going to, as the picks go, we're going to be talking about teams that need a quarterback for now or teams that need a quarterback for the future. I think he's going to be the big time story on Thursday night.
So this draft has a consensus number one in Mendoza. Ty Simpson out of Alabama, quarterback, is the second quarterback most people have on their boards. There's 2 pass rushers in David Bailey, outside linebacker, edge rusher from Texas Tech, and Arvell Reese from Ohio State that are both considered in that 2-3 range. I do wonder if, because of the fact that everyone kind of says a lot of these guys are interchangeable relative to, I could see this guy being good, I could see that guy being good. I wonder if there are players drafted really high in this draft that none of us have had in mock drafts. Because it's like, I'm not passing on so-and-so because I don't know if that guy's even that good. I wonder if there are names that jump up that we're just like, wow, I didn't see that coming. Go ahead.
I got a name for you.
Go ahead.
Taylor Green from Arkansas, the quarterback. I mean, 6'5", 225 pounds, ran a 4.340, a lot of physical gifts.
Like first round?
I don't know.
Even throwing that out there is bold.
I'm just putting it out there. Like,
Yeah.
I think this guy is going to go a lot higher than what people suspect because he's got things that you can't teach. Now, is it raw? Hell yeah, it is. But we've seen people take a shot on that type of talent high up in the draft. I mean, you think back decades ago with Matt Jones, the quarterback.
Yeah, from Arkansas.
From Arkansas.
Went to the
6'6",
Jaguars.
200 pounds, ran a 4.340, gets drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, it didn't pan out for them.
Yeah.
But just the physical gifts lent itself to them taking a shot at him because every coach, every talent evaluator has an ego, and they think to themselves, if I get the guy in my building, then I'll know what to do with him. I'll know how to use him. So when you hear things like what Eric DeCosta said early this week when he says that there's a drop-off in talent midways through the third round, what we could see is teams taking guys that are more projects than finished commodities even on night one once we get into the latter part of the first round.
So is it on the table for you that he gets drafted ahead of Ty Simpson? Or are you saying more ahead of the Drew Allers, Garrett Nussmeyers of the world?
I'm saying this. This is what I'm saying. When it comes to the Ty Simpson of it all, I think that it's an incredible risk to take a guy that's only had 15 starts in his collegiate career that has no dominant physical traits. It's an incredible risk. If you want to say processing is his superpower, okay, that's well and good. But it's a risk. I'm not sure that there is the consensus formed around Ty Simpson definitively being the second best quarterback on everybody's board.
Wow. So it's that
I don't know whose number 2 is. I don't know who it is.
Right.
But I don't know that every team views it that way.
I'm stunned that you're saying this.
Me too. Absolutely.
So Green just because I'm going to be honest, I don't know a ton about him, but let me give you. I've obviously heard the name leading in the draft process here, but just
I'm not saying. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's the second best quarterback in this draft.
Being the second best quarterback and drafted second are two different things.
That's my point. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm talking about.
Because a good team could say Ty Simpson's never going to have a role with us, but this guy could. Because being a project actually suits us better because there's no push to play him right away. So we can develop him. We can use him in different packages, whatever it is.
But that's just the example. I do think there are a lot of teams that are going to look at this draft and they're going to look at the prospects. And once you get to the latter part of the teens on into the 20s, there aren't guys that you're saying these are finished products. The teams are going to be more apt to look at guys that project because they have dominant physical traits, guys that they can work with, guys that they hope they can develop into impact players into the future. I don't think there's a lot of plug-and-play guys once we get to the latter part of the first round that teams are going to look at and depend on going into 2026.
Green is a 4-year player, 5 years in college, 2 years starting at Bowling. It was Boise State, excuse me, and then Arkansas after that. So that's a fascinating thing to keep an eye on. We talked about Ty Simpson a little bit, as well as Jeremiah Love. Those are two guys that we're all wondering where they could go. We will discuss that coming up after I tell you about WrestleMania 4.
Because I swear I'm on the same flight as you because I just found a text confirmation that I had sent to someone else in our company who asked which flight I was on. But somehow in my email, it's saying 10:31, which is not
You sure that's
correct.
not the flight number?
No. It's saying the time is 10:31. So we're actively working on it. Don't you worry.
Well, there's less pressure on you than there is on one Pat Costello. Boy, Nuno's been hyping this up because normally Nuno travels with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's right.
Pat, on-site producing. Are you nervous, Pat?
No, nervous about what?
I don't know. Nuno's been saying that there's a lot of pressure on you next week. That's what Nuno's been saying.
I don't know what for.
Nuno?
Nuno
mean,
barely
what
does
for?
anything when he's out there.
That's not true at all.
He barely does anything.
Nuno does a lot.
Wow.
Nah, he just gets out there, just shakes hands, kisses babies, looks pretty. That's
What
all
a
he's
Well,
doing.
he
shot
does
at
all
you,
that,
Nuno.
of course, but he also does a lot of hard work.
A response, please?
I'm not surprised that Pat's taking shots at me. That's fine. Pat, I told him already, have fun. You know, there's going to be a lot of work. You have to meet a lot of people. You're a big celebrity, right? Magic Johnson loves your segment. So, people are going to expect greatness from you, Pat, while you're there.
Is have fun the first thing or do your job the first thing? Because he said have fun, do work. I'd like him to do work
I
and
don't
then
know if
have
you can
fun.
do the job without having fun.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you,
That's right.
Canty.
Yeah.
All right.
If you're doing your job well, you should be having fun.
Okay. Pressure's on, Pat. Sure. Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame, from St. Louis. Okay,
Yeah.
unlike Smalls. Has been in studio with us multiple times.
By
Class
the way,
act.
that
Yes.
is a huge talking point around these hallways, just so you know. People very upset with the both of you.
At 101 ESPN in St. Louis
People
today.
are like, how dare they say you're not from St. Louis? And they were glad that Sterling K. Brown, very famous actor, also from St. Louis, has my back. Just so you know, you're making some enemies in St. Louis.
All right. And Ty Simpson, Alabama quarterback. Many, including Adam Schefter, have said those are the two most interesting players in the draft as to where they land. If I told you both, CC and Smalls, you can only follow the path of one of these two young men next week, and you can only find out where one of them goes. Which one is more interesting, and why?
I think Jeremiah Love.
Why?
Here's the thing. I don't believe that you draft a running back unless I don't believe you draft a running back as high as Jeremiah Love is going to go, unless you think that you're close to being a title contender. Jeremiah Love, to me, is the exception based on the character. We've had him in studio. We've talked to his coaches. Everybody raves about the character of this young man, and that's what they lead with much more than the physical gifts. We got to remember, this guy is a home run hitter. He's one of the best athletes in this year's draft. He's arguably the best player in this year's draft. But people talk about the man. People talk about the character. And when you're drafting a player in the top 10, potentially in the top 5, you have to consider their ability to change, that which can change your franchise, but you also have to think about how they fit your locker room and changing the culture within your organization. And I think that Jeremiah Love checks both of those boxes. And so in this instance, I do think he's the outlier. I do think he's the exception. You do draft a player like this, even if you're a team that hasn't quite found your footing, because of how special the character is.
Based on that explanation, where do you want to see him going?
Tennessee Titans. So I would love to have a backfield with Cam Ward and Jeremiah Love. I think that is setting up the Titans and Rob Saleh to have success year one.
That if those are your two faces of the franchise for Rob Saleh, you could not be more polar opposite than what he had with the Jets. He goes from the circus to the library. Because those two, Cam Ward and Jeremiah Love, will live at the facility. They won't create headlines off the field. They won't create headlines relative to meeting with the media.
Cam Ward did create some headlines last year.
Well,
I'm going to keep it a buck right now.
But based
because
on
he was a
football,
truth teller.
That was a great headline.
Well,
it's my favorite quote of all time.
It was a great headline.
I'm going to keep it a buck.
Isn't that based on like wanting to be great at football?
It is. And that's what we heard about Cam Ward. Like it's cliche, but he's the first one in, last one out. Like that's what you want out of your quarterback. And he showed incremental improvement as the season went on. And I think adding a piece like Jeremiah Love only serves to make Cam Ward a lot better. And if you took a quarterback with the number 1 overall pick just a year ago, you want to give yourself every opportunity to get the full return on that investment. And drafting Jeremiah Love helps you do that.
All right, Small, same question for you. More interested in the path next week, 1 week from today, of Jeremiah Love or Ty Simpson, and why?
If we were talking about the path for their entire rookie season, it's Jeremiah Love, no question. If we're talking about draft night,
yes,
it's Ty Simpson. I want to see what happens with him. Jeremiah Love is obviously the better player, the better prospect. I think he's going to be off the board very quickly. So that would be a boring draft night for me to follow him around. Ty Simpson is going to be the roller coaster. We don't know where he's going to land. We don't know what team is going to take him. Every time that a team comes up there where we could even make a slight argument that they need a quarterback, we're going to wonder about Ty Simpson. And so I think following him draft night will be very exciting.
So is Ty Simpson going to be this year's version of what we saw with Shedeur Sanders last year?
Yes. I don't think it'll be as extreme because I don't think he'll fall as far as Shedeur did going in the 5th round. But yeah, that's going to be the one where we're wondering every time, is it going to be Ty Simpson here?
And I will just tell you that
especially in the 20s.
Ty Simpson, to me, if I had to bet $1 right now as to where he goes, I'm going to bet 21 to Pittsburgh. Until Aaron Rodgers signs.
So feet to the fire, you think Ty Simpson ends up being a first-round pick?
Yeah, I've said top 15. I should probably say top 25 now.
Yeah.
But based on us sitting here for an hour with Shefty the other day, and there's still no news on Aaron Rodgers, how can I not put 21 Pittsburgh on the board?
I don't know.
You're not convinced that it's going to be 21 to Pittsburgh.
I don't know.
You're convinced he's going to be the green room guy.
I think there's a strong chance that happens.
And your green room guy is past 32.
Yes.
That we
Not
go
a
into night 2. That we're doing our Friday show in Pittsburgh. Thanks to Pella Windows and Doors, 5 Hour Energy, ZipRecruiter, and Marriott Bonvoy. And our main topic of conversation is not who was drafted, it's who wasn't drafted, meaning the quarterback from Alabama.
I think there's